But then we need to make it clear that UKIP is not a Christian party. It's just got Christians in the party.
No, I've got used to it now. I mean, it's got some lovely people in it. It has some eccentrics in it. I'm probably one of them. But and it's not a holy party. But interestingly, I find that it attracts a lot of Christians.
Yeah.
Or if they're not, those that have given their heart to Jesus, it attracts a lot of people who are perhaps more of the traditional Christian faith, the churchgoer, who do not like what is happening to this country at the moment in terms of what they see as moral standards being eroded. The gay marriage issue is one particularly that I have, quite honestly, I mean, I've never seen. So I'm just overwhelmed actually with so many people coming to me in ward meetings or whatever, you know, as you see people in town, for example, we as UKIP go into town and we do our sort of leaflet thing, and people come up and say, I'm really angry about this. You know, this is not an issue, for example, that we should be, you know, redefining marriage. No. Mr. Cameron is losing a lot of votes over this.
That is true, because recently I read in a paper that according to an opinion poll, majority of Christians said they're not going to vote for Cameron at the next election because of that particular move.
I just think Cameron's wrong on this one. There are more important issues. You cannot take this Bible, rip it up and redefine marriage. We're nearly there, Yemi. That elusive MP win is just on the horizon for UKIP.
Wonderful. Maybe you're going to be the one.
Well, I'm going to have a go. I don't know if they've sacked people, but they've decided to do their internal post via some owls. So
wow.
I just thought they needed to come along today, and here's one I prepared earlier. Okay, so if you want to do the messages,
wonderful.
For you. But I'll put them back. I think they work better on there.
Brilliant.
People are watching this going, what is this man talking about? In terms of who's on the political scene, whatever political party, whatever the individual is, just look at them, what they stand for, what they believe in, what does the party stand for, what do they believe in. Use your vote, please use your vote. And just one line of scripture, which is Proverbs 11, without wise leadership, a nation is in trouble, but with good counsellors there is safety.
A lot of the kids today don't even know about the world wars. They don't know what happened. They just want to have a good time and have an iPad, an iPod, and then just enjoy themselves. They can't even go to war. They can't even join the army because they don't want to die.
Well, actually, in some respects, well, can you join the army? Because of cutbacks. I mean, there's an issue that UKIP feels very strongly about. You know, we should retain some reasonable level of military, and we are just flicking away our military personnel. But I think you can't split it, you can't divide it. You know, I am who I am, I believe in what I believe, and actually that is going to come through in terms of my opinions, and when I look at UKIP policy, how I sort of think what is right or wrong, it's going to come through. And the other parties obviously do have Christians, we know that. There is a Christian influence within politics today in the UK, and there is in Europe. There are some MEPs who are Christians. What you have in terms of where people are, you have the three political parties, Conservatives, Labour, Lib Dem. In terms of policy, there are obviously differences, but a lot of policy, they're the same. Along comes UKIP, and we're saying something different. And this is why, when the media has been referring to the rise of UKIP, believe me, from my point of view, someone who stood in Coventry, I've never seen so many people inquiring about us, wanting to talk to us, wanting to know what we stand for. Something is happening in this country. Something is happening, and I think we're going to see it in a few weeks' time in local elections, and we're going to see it. We're certainly going to see it in the European elections in 2014, and if this government does go to 2015, I think Cameron's out.
Yes, we have the Nigel Farage clip, which will be shown in a minute. So, you know what I love about this guy called Farage? When I see his clips in the European Parliament, when he's talking, you can see all those guys sitting there like communist, you know, comrades with their faces down. Like, God, how do we get rid of this guy? He's exposing our position too much. In the meantime, I want you to sit back, watch this clip. When we come back, we'll talk more about Nigel Farage and this political party. God bless you.
Well, Mr. Van Rompuy, when you first appeared here in what proved to be a rather expensive speech, I said you'd be the quiet assassin of nation-state democracy. And sure enough, in your dull and technocratic way, you've gone about your course, but I have to say, you're even worse than I thought you were going to be. I thought it was just going to be a federal Europe, a federal union. But actually it appears, with every statement you make, that what you now want is the total subjugation of the states to completely undemocratic structures based in Brussels. I misread the bailouts. I thought that when the bailouts happened, and I could see the panic around this chamber, people fearing economic meltdown, but you of course were calm through it all because you saw the bailouts as your opportunity to take control. Just think how Ireland today is managed, Greece for that matter. The sinister sounding troika come in, 50 officials, spend a few days in the country, investigate the situation and then tell puppet prime ministers what they may or may not do. And I note great enthusiasm in this chamber for Spain to have a bailout. Lots of members here want Spain to accept the bailout so that they too are subjugated to this new order. Indeed, in Italy, the appointee there, Mr Monti, is very keen for his own country to be bailed out because, to quote him, he fears that parliamentary democracy could bring down the European Union. So I think it's pretty clear that your next phase is for those that haven't been bailed out and may not need to be bailed out. You now want them to sign guarantees, budget guarantees, and to have the power to strike down national budgets after they have been through parliaments. I have to say, I feel that the Eurozone is now in a very dark place, economically, socially, politically, and I fear that the countries trapped inside it, in that prison, will be there for many years to come. So it's odd against this backdrop that the Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to the European Union. It's true that Germany hasn't invaded France since 1945, but I don't think there was any prospect of that happening, unless of course what you're all saying is that the Germans are inherently bad people. No, the threat actually came from Russia, and we should be thanking NATO, and we should be thanking millions of American soldiers who served on European soil to maintain peace. Yet I don't hear a word of that because we loathe America and everything that it stands for. No, this is now a divided, split Europe, with neo-Nazi politics on the rise, with violent demonstrations in the streets, and I frankly think that the award of that Nobel Prize devalues that whole organisation. Well, it's not all bad news, because in Britain the opinion polls are clear that a clear settled majority of Brits now want to leave this union, leaving David Cameron as piggy in the middle, trying to pretend to be a Eurosceptic when he comes over here, going back home and claiming victories, but he's stuck. And I predict one thing, big political change is coming in Britain because he's losing the support of millions of his own voters. Thank you.